Good morning, YouTube. Coaching Beyond with Coach Sagasta, coaching with It Works, and we live and raw. Give me 1 second, man. 1 second. You can count backwards. Sorry, bro. Blind you. Did I make it back in time? 60 seconds? I hope so. How do you tag somebody in a video? There we go. I'm sorry, YouTubers. Let's go ahead and get started. Good and vibrant morning, everybody. Facebook Live. It's Coaching Beyond with Coach Sagasta, coaching with It Works, and we live and raw, baby. Here we go. Got to go ahead and get into it, man. First of all, I want to definitely take the time this moment to thank Shane, the train, my man, my beloved brother. Stayed up till, babe, what time was it last night that we got the opportunity to speak? What time was it that I actually got the opportunity to rest? 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. Usually hit my head on the pillow. Like right around 9:30, 10 o'clock typically. And my man Shane was on. And I'm gonna be 100 with you, man. We shared many things in common, and it was a wonderful opportunity to spend the time that I walked in the door from having dinner and supporting our cheerleaders from our school at Chili's last night, but to have that favorable time, you know, to harmonize with my brother, was excellent. Was beyond extraordinary. I love it. Thank God for that moment. And so I send that out to you, brother. Thank you so much for challenging me with those push-ups. And I'll get on those burpees, or as we call them, up downs, here in Arizona. And so, yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it, man. The proverb of today, man. The proverb of today, man. I found the happiest people in the world. I found a lot of different things, man, in my studies, but I always come back to, hold on 1 second, hey, no sugar in my coffee, right? I'm gonna bring it to you raw. I found the most happiest people in life are the people that love what they're doing with passion, with obsession. And as I told my brother last night, I said, one of the things that I truly love that I'm doing is giving back. And as I pointed out to you yesterday, man, I said, what is your drive in the morning? I asked you, what is your drive? And some of you guys commented, and I appreciate that. But as I extend that another day of what is your drive? Let's take flight right now. What is your drive? What drives you in the morning? What gets you up in the morning? As I told you that I had a great conversation with my brother last night, I was able to rest with satisfaction, even though we had a bad practice yesterday. Even though I got a game, in spite that I got a game today with only 1 day of practice. Adversity. As I told you yesterday, and as I read to my brother yesterday, I said, good morning, Lisa. As I read to my brother yesterday, the proverb in 24:10, and I'll read it again. I'll read it for those that missed it yesterday. I'll read it one more time. It says in Proverbs chapter 24, verse 10, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. So in spite of having a bad practice yesterday, in spite of having a game today, okay, in spite of the things that I see where leaders are to be leaders, and in spite of that, I don't watch the debate. I don't watch what's going on. You know why? Because it's a facade. It's a lie. Information changes situation. Knowledge is the new money. That's where it's at. I dare you to be president. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get off that, man, because I can go off on a tangent on that one. But the reality is, man, is I spent time with my brother Sean the train last night, man, and Shane the train. Praise God for a man like that, to give testimony and to go through all the trials and tribulations. And as I told him, some of the biggest strengths are because of our trials and tribulations in life. And as I told you, some of the happiest people are what they're doing, what they love with passion. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the diversity, no matter what adversity comes, no matter what difficulties come, no matter what circumstance or obstacles, they get up with the drive. They get up with determination. They get up with courage. They get up with faith. They get up each and every morning. Nobody has to ask me to get up and make videos. Like I told him, man, I said, Shane, I'm gonna hit you up, brother. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into. I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into this, okay? So for everybody, I didn't get on Periscope this morning. Straight up, just my Facebook family and YouTubers. So here it is here. In verse 28, because September 28, 2016, we have 3 months left. I ask you, what's your desire? What's your drive in the morning? What is your drive? Okay, so I'm going to get into the word, because I want to show you the drive. Better is the poor that walketh in the uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is companion of rottenness men shameth his father. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayers shall be an abomination. Let me read that one more time, man, for those who didn't understand that. Okay, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayers shall be an abomination. That is deep. Like the waters of the ocean, deep. Knowledge is deep. Information is deep. Passion is deep. Love is deep. The heart of man is deep. Believe me when I tell you, 6 years, 9 months, 629 hours. Okay? That's where we're at. And when you say you want to be successful, you want success in your life. I want success. As I told you, man, you can't get it. It just doesn't fall out of the sky. It's not something that you go to Walmart, you go stand in line at Walmart and you buy a box of it off the shelves. It doesn't work like that. You don't go to a Target and buy it off the shelves. You don't go to Macy's or Saks Fifth Avenue and buy it off the shelves. You don't go to Abercrombie and Finch and ask, hey, can I get success in a box, please? It doesn't work like that. What is true happiness? It's putting passion, desire, backed by faith into your reality, into your life. One of the things that we got to collaborate with last night was, with my brother Shane, is how many people in life today, they get up because they got to get up. They conformed. They have to get up. I've got to go to work. I told you about this yesterday. What's your drive, right? What was your drive? And a lot of people, man, straight up, a lot of people, they just get up because they have to get up. Why? Because everybody works, right? So we have to get up. Got to collaborate with the young gentleman yesterday. You know, Brent, I appreciate you, brother. You know, very young, very vibrant, alive. You know, alive and thriving. And as a young entrepreneur, man, I hope him the best. You know, that he stays on that track. As I talked to my brother Nicholas that's down in Miami, I hope that he continues on that same path. That he does not derail from his avenue, from his vision, because he has to drive each and every morning. You know, and when I get that opportunity to do the podcast with you, brother, I'll be more than welcome, more than happy, and more than honored and privileged to do that. You know, one of the things that I absolutely tell people in the morning is I'm privileged to wake up. I am honored to wake up, that I have another opportunity to grind. I have another opportunity to share God's word. I have another opportunity to thank him. You ask me what's so happy, what's my drive? My drive is continue to be the influencer that I am today. And by God's grace, I'm going to continue to do that to the day I die. As my wife sent to me, what is she, where is it, babe? Where did I do with it? Man, my wife sent me something today. Hold up, love. I'll find it right now. Oh, I'm going to make the rest of my life the best of my life if it takes the rest of my life. That in itself is deep, man. I love it. So, man, I ask you again, you say you want to be successful. You say you want success. And so I had to open up the book, okay? For all y'all that don't know, man, I gave you the proverb of today. My man Shane, that's for you, brother. Okay. And this here is one that I keep on sharing with people, that in spite that you might find it somewhere at a bookstore, but this is the 1828, okay, American English Dictionary. Why is it so thick? Because it's filled with words, okay? It's filled with information. As I told one lady yesterday, I go, smell this book, smell this. And she smells it, and she's like, smells like a new book. I said, it smells like knowledge, it smells like money. She was like, well, what? I was like, hey, information changes the situation, and knowledge is the new money. You better get some. You better get some. So I challenged real quick, man. I'm gonna tell you. Last night it ended, but as I was telling a lot of people last night, I was expressing. Excuse me. I was expressing some of my love to my kids last night as I was reading a phenomenal book to them. You know, there's a difference, man. If you don't know a good book from a great book, from a phenomenal book, I can definitely help you with that, man, because I have definitely learned what a phenomenal novelist is putting out. And literally, it is, you know, I don't read, what are they called? I don't read, what are they called, love? Those books that keep on going. What is it called? Like a series. I don't read series of books like that. I do read a series of different books. I'm very diverse when it comes to information, but no, I don't read series. I'm not reading the whole trilogy of what is that, the Lord of the Rings, or oh, give me another one. What's another one? Um what's another one, man? I can't think off the top of my head of these series of books. You know, the Maze Runner. I don't get into those, man. Now, when the movie comes on, my kids want to watch it. I'll definitely watch it with them. I love being able to sit down and spend some time with my kids and watch a movie, or share or read a book to them. I think that's so important, man. A lot of has been forgotten in our country about sitting down and spending time, turning the TV off and reading a book. You know what I'm saying? Opening up the mind, opening up the information, opening up the gateways. Man, this is you know, here's the cool thing about Midwest, and here's what I look at, is because you're filled with plains. As I drive down south to in our local area, it's filled with plains, just wide open areas of cotton fields, alfalfa fields, and I think about that with our brain. We have acres and acres and acres of countless space in here, man. You can store great information. You can plant anything you want in this beautiful uh, creative mind. And a lot of people don't, man. Or they do. Don't get me wrong, they do, but they plant the seeds of negativeness because they sit down, they watch the TV, and you know what? And am I against the TV, man? Listen, what did I just say, man? I'll sit down and I'll watch, some Notre Dame or something with my family from time to time. Not it's not a regular basis. Literally, you could ask my wife. I don't know all the keys on that big remote. To me, when I look at that remote, that thing's like this big, man. It's monstrosities of buttons for me to have to push. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into a little bit more, man. So here it is here, man. As I shared last night, and it got cut off because my phone died, and it was a sign to get to bed. As I shared with some people, man, my deepest apologies for just coming off like that, but it turned off, man. So I'm sorry. One of the greatest books, and I want to share. I don't have the other book. I do have a friend that's borrowing the book, but I wanted to share some of my passionate books with you this morning. In spite that, or in light that it might bring back something for you. I don't know what it is, but I want to definitely help you out in any shape or form. So, great book right here, Think and Grow Rich. Gone through this 3 times, and I opened it up again this morning. The only reason why is because my daughter left it right here, 9 years old, grinding. Okay, grinding. The other one is Greatness is Upon You by Dr. Eric Thomas. And you could ask my brother Pat when he gets on, if he gets on here shortly, but very alive book. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and get into the dictionary of success, man. What is success? Okay. Success is the favorable and prosperous termination of anything attempted, a termination which answers the purpose intended, properly in a good sense, but often in a bad sense. That's the 1828, man. That was 1828. There he is. There's Pat. What's up, brother? I was just sharing with the people right now. Dr. Thomas's book, Greatness is Upon You, and I wanted you to go ahead and comment below what you thought of the book and what you think of the book. And as my brother Pat, he has already purchased his book, and as I told my brother Pat, I got my 9-year-old daughter reading this. I have 3 more copies similar to this one here. The original copy is actually mine. It's a hardback, but I have 2 more for my other boys. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because it is none the less greatest information that I've ever come across. In fact, when I talked to the young man right before I walked into Chili's, when I talked to him, my young brother, I asked him, I said, I got to ask you real fast before we get off, because I only had 20 minutes before I had to get into the restaurant and sit down with my family. But I said, I got to ask you. I said, what is the #1 novel that you picked up, and where did it come from, and who planted that seed? And he said, Coach, my 16-year-old brother. He said he gave me the book, and he heard about it online. And I said, man, that's phenomenal. That's great. I love to hear that. So I wanted to share that with you. Last night, I shared a couple more other books with Alfonso. I told Alfonso yesterday, and I expressed my deepest empathy for, Benjamin Franklin and some of the greats, Marcus Aurelius and Napoleon Hill and Dr. Thomas Morris, just different vibrant people, man. And one of the greatest ones that I've come across was that book, Greatness is Upon You by Dr. Eric Thomas, and Think and Grow Rich. And a lot of people are like, "What? Think and Grow Rich? I'm gonna get rich by reading that book." Knowledge is the new money. I told you, okay. And I can't wait to express that more to some of the kids that I coach with. Okay, so I read you what success is, man. I told you. If you went with this, it's the favorable, prosperous termination of anything that is attempted, a termination which answers the purpose intended, properly in a good sense, but often in a bad sense. Doesn't that make sense to you? When most people, they think of success, they think of it as a monetary system. That's the bad sense. You see what I'm talking about? Okay. As I told you, when I drive down south of where I live, man, you see plains and acres of plains, okay, of cotton fields, of alfalfa. Your mind is that of, okay. You don't have to be you don't have to be John Adams or Albert Einstein to figure that out, but they did. They figured out that we have acres and acres and acres of land, and when you plant the seed of great growth, like apple trees, man. One man asked me at a conference, or it was at an event. In fact, it was just mentioned just not too long ago at an event at school. Somebody asked me, "What would you like to be, and what tree would you like to be, and why?" And I said, "An apple tree." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it gives fruit, and because it gives shade. So it has lots of meaning, and it also gives life because of oxygen." I said, "So there's a lot of meaning of becoming an apple tree or a fig tree or any beautiful tree, in this creative life that God has given us." So, man, I'm glad I had the opportunity to go ahead and show you the proverb today. Uh, I'm gonna make it the rest of my life, and I'm gonna make it the best of my life. And as I asked you yesterday, what your drive was, what your drive is in the morning. Please think about that today, man. And you can either private message me if you don't want to. You don't have to. I just ask. I want to know what your drive is. You know what I'm saying? The more I start to surround myself, with very, very vibrant people, very positive people, as I try to subtract myself from the negativeness in life because it's so important to do so. Uh, I definitely need you to think about it in the same terms, as we have a wonderful opportunity and a lifetime of opportunities to go ahead and give back. And you know, anytime that you stop, when you give up, that's when everything ends, man. That's when life ends. That's when, I mean, I definitely look at a lot of people's lives today, and I can see where people give up. That there's no momentum in life. There's nothing, and you see their misery. It's written on their face. It's written in their actions, and it's amazing. When people ask me, "Hey, coach, how you doing?" Man, I'm excited. I'm healthy, and I'm alive, man. I'm blessed. I am definitely blessed. I thank God for my wife. I thank God for my 3 children. I thank God for the opportunity to coach where I coach at. Um, I thank God for you folks for listening, and applying information to your life and sharing my videos. I appreciate that. I thank you. Um, like my brother did last night, Shane, I took something so important away from last night's conversation at the very end, and you know exactly what that was, brother, and that was prayer. Some of the representations of life that I've met through novels as a bibliophile is that of prayer. When I looked at Andrew Carnegie, when I looked at, when I read his biography, and I have it, when I read about Henry Ford, when I read about the Wright brothers, when I read about Albert Einstein, when I read about, Napoleon Hill, Eric Thomas, a lot of the greats, Marcus Aurelius, the list goes on and on and on of the greats that I've consumed and continue to share great harmony with because of that diligence. But a lot of it, as I shared with my brother Shane last night, was prayer, was time of harmonization, and they harmonized. And as Jesus did too, and the Apostle Paul, they all had a time of harmony. They all had a time of prayer. They all separated themselves from the world. And it's amazing what you can do when you do that. And so I'm going to go ahead and conclude with, a faithful prayer, if you don't mind. And you don't have to stay. You be subtitle. You could disappear if you like. That's entirely up to you. As I told you, happiness is what you're obsessed with. I'm obsessed with learning. I'm obsessed, with giving. I'm obsessed with, my relationship, my values, my goals. So I'm gonna go ahead and end with that and with prayer. Blessed Father, I come before your throne. to thank you for all the trials and tribulations through life that you have brought us through. And I can never repay the debt of you allowing your son to die on the cross for my sins and the sins of this world. I can never repay for all the wonderful gifts of having children, of being married, and the fellowship that I have with others around the world. I thank you so much, oh blessed Father. I thank you, oh God of Israel, God of this world. I thank you so much for being so gracious, for being so wonderful to me. I thank you for the opportunity that I have on this earth. Might you continue to give me thy strength of 10,000 men. Might you give me the power of the mind, of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And might you continue to be with this flesh, this body, this heart, that might you just give it, confidence, courage, and boldness. And might you be with my brothers and sisters on Breathe You. Might you be with my brothers and sisters with It Works. And might you be with my friends and family through social media in this world, those I come in contact with on a daily note. God, might you continue to help me to be a better influencer, better husband, better servant. Oh, blessed Father, be with our troops here at home and in the foreign land. I beg you to be with your troops, for the missionaries that are continuing to go into all the world and serve the Great Commission. Lord, I thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to wake up, to be privileged, as Marcus Aurelius said, to be privileged, to have love, to wake up, to give harmony unto all that you've created, the sun, the clouds, the stars, the rain, the waters of the earth, the mountains, the beast, and everything that crawleth upon this earth. I thank you so much for your divine scripture. I thank you so much for King Solomon. Many people ask why King Solomon, because he asked, and in Matthew 7, ask and it shall be given, knock and it shall be opened, seek and ye shall find. I thank you so much for all the men and women that have sat down and wrote for us to learn from, that were inspired and pushed by you. I thank you so much for our nation, that we still have the freedom to pray, the freedom to go about and to have the capacity to think and to do things. I thank you so much for this mind with the body. I praise you. I love you. Please be with Dr. Thomas, CJ, Carl, and Josh as they make their way home. I ask you, blessed Father, be with all those that are sick. I think of little CJ. I think of Diane as battling cancer right now. I think of Netta from our church. I think for the Slushers. I think of the Sonnenfelds. I think of my church family. I think of our nation's leaders, that they would wake up. Oh, blessed Father, please be with them. Protect them, put a hedge about them, and help them to make better decisions in the leading of our nation. Lord, our nation needs a revival like it once had of years ago, a reviving of the heart, mind, and spirit. I ask you, Almighty God, to be with us now, protect us, help us to go our way. In Jesus' name I love you. Amen. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's not about me, it's about you. It's about him. Be diligent in whatever you're doing. As I told you, what your desire, what is it that you have a desire for? You know what I'm saying? What's your drive in the morning? You definitely need to define that. As I told you, nothing ever that comes out of my mouth is scripted. I'm just raw. Like no sugar in my coffee, man. I just bring it. And I praise God for that. It's a talent. It's a gift that God has given me. And I was a fool, man. Literally, as I told my brother Sean last night, I was a fool. And you say, Coach, how could you be a fool, man? You went to school, got some college, you got coached up. Because I was engulfed in pride, man. I was taking all the information and keeping it for myself and not sharing it. That's a fool. You feel me? We have one life. We have one life. It should be about giving. Love thy neighbor as thyself. So I thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Babe, who was that last night we were talking about that loves to share it, babe? I don't forgot. Alicia? Was Alicia? I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great and vibrant day, and make the rest of your day the best of your day. YouTube, I appreciate you. I thank you so much for all the collaborative teams that come together to make it possible for us to make these videos. And to all those that share it, I appreciate you. And I mean that with all sincerity, with all my heart, that might your day be a blessing, and might you receive a blessing. Have a great day. I'm out.